What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the New Cow Corner podcast. Mark, the Gecko Room here, and Anthony, Cold Blooded Gems. We are back. This one is going to be an episode just him, and I, and we're going to be diving in deep with mental health and reptiles. So you're going to want to stay around, grab your popcorn, grab your coffee, and watch this episode.
Bustello.
Hey.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. All right,
Yeah, man.
so I mean, me and you had talked about this before. We had this topic, and I think both of us probably feel that it's a topic that's swept under the rug, right? Like these animals, make no mistake about it, play a huge role in basically keeping us men sane. It's an outlet for a lot of us. I feel it's an outlet for me. Life gets hard, bills pile up, life happens. We go to our happy place. And for me again personally, a lot of us, my happy place is that reptile room, man. It's what do you feel? How do you feel about the whole topic in general? Men's mental health in general.
I mean, honestly, it can go either way. I've had ups and downs. I've experienced both. I've experienced a happy place, and I've experienced an overwhelming sensation at times,
Like a burnout almost.
I've never burnt out, I'll be honest about that, but I have come to the point where I always sit down and think about what am I doing, and sometimes I'm like, am I doing too much? Do I have to do too much? I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, and it took me years just to get on Instagram and do a live, let's say, for instance, and the thing about all of the cancel culture, and are people gonna like me? Are people gonna say anything about me? And at the end of the day, what really helps me is I deal with people on a daily basis. People don't like me, people love me. But my family is the ones that are telling me, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And to them, I'm Superman. So
Big
if
shoes to fill, man.
as long as they're happy with it and they say I did a good job, hey, you guys that do like me, thank you. I appreciate it. And those that don't, I mean, there's plenty of other people out there to watch or listen to. You know what I'm saying? I can't be mad at you. But that can be stressful for some. If you're not strong-minded and strong-willed, you know, if you don't have experience in life to deal with those type of obstacles, you can end up burying yourself. Like,
How do you
forget it.
handle
I
it?
don't want to do it no more.
How do you handle it? It's got to be. I don't have a wife or kids, man, and I always look at men like yourself that do, and I'm like, I know what life can do to me, right? And the burden of having to always prove yourself as a man, and I don't mean in a tough way. I mean prove yourself as in paving your own way, paying bills, the daily struggle, putting food on the table. It takes hard work for you to have a happy family. I think that's half the problem here is that people overlook what it takes for a man like you to make a family happy. That could drive and does drive some men to the grave. Look at the suicide rates. That's right along the path of what we're talking about here. Some men in general feel that failure isn't acceptable, and they take the extreme path of committing suicide. I mean, God, I'm not implying that you ever would if life got hard, but it's probably a given that life has gotten hard for you at some juncture trying to keep a smile on them kids and that woman's face, no? What do you do when time gets hard and maybe you feel like you don't know what you're going to do next, and you got to treat your woman well, your kids want video games and new bicycles, and work slow, and how do you as a man manage those hard times?
Well, I always, when I see things getting out of hand or getting rough, mom instilled me. Mom put something in me that replays in my head. May she rest in peace. No matter what, it can always be worse. You know, I'm a big reader when it comes to stuff like that, and my father sends me quotes on a daily basis. Like, I have certain life quotes on my wall right here, that I follow. And I was always in martial arts and stuff like that. I was always raised to be strong, you know, and just deal with it and just come out on top. Um, but what I will tell you is I take a step back. Like, reptiles I love, but I also do, like, I ride bike. That has been an outlet for me. When stuff is getting rough, I go hit a trail, I go hit the streets. I do both now. Like, just you get it out of you, mental clarity. I change the music that I listen to. I'll change, different genres just to get mental clarity. And at the end of the day, I've built an ecosystem in my backyard where I could just sit down. And that's one of the things I love about Florida. I can just sit down back there. I hear my pond's waterfall. I see the lizards running around, the birds chirping and stuff. And I can sit out there in the hot sun and burn up in the sweat and just think. I don't I don't confide much in a lot. I don't have a big friend circle, so to speak. I have acquaintances here and there and things like that. Um, but I'm fine with that. Like, I've learned that you don't need to have a million friends to be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
And
right.
also I've learned that constructive criticism is not a bad thing, bro. Like, I learned that being a manager in my job and just through life, sometimes it can sting, but I rather at this point in my life people tell me the truth than hide behind a lie. I value the truth, and that picks me up and makes me do better. When people hide behind a lie and make me feel like it's the truth and I'm doing the right thing, but I'm really not, then you're not helping me get better. You're not building, so I don't consider that friendship. Like, I consider that fake, with all due respect, but
Sure. Sure.
and vice versa too. Like, I'm a very straightforward person and I'll tell you things or say things, and sometimes, it's misinterpreted or received in an ill manner, and I'm just talking truth. I'm trying to better things, or help you out, or give ideas, whatever the case may be. You know, but at the end of the day, writing things down, um, write the problem, write some answers to help figure out the problem. How can I do this? How can I do that? And taking your time. One of the things that really messed with me was I've always wanted to be a good breeder, and I always attack myself. And I'm very on top of my stuff operationally. I'm very operationally inclined, and one of the things that I've grown now 7 years in is, bro, stop attacking yourself. If nobody else is attacking you, calm down a little bit on yourself. Relax. Um, you're sometimes you have to congratulate yourself and be happy for where you've gotten to,
Sure.
and stop always focusing only on the ultimate end. Yeah, you want to make those high goals, but also appreciate the levels that you accomplish and achieve on the way to accomplishing that high goal. Um and just be happy, man. Be happy at the end of the day with what you have and how you doing it. Um, but it can be a strain when you I think one of the things is that when you see these Instagram posts and you see these whatever you see about animals, right? It always looks beautiful and easy. It always looks like, oh wow, look, he's got 1,000 animals in his room. He's got 1,000 animals in his room. They look so happy on the camera showing off their animals and explaining these things. Their tanks look immaculate, but nobody really talks about, bro, nobody's gonna go do a reptile walkthrough of their room and show you the day that it has to be cleaned up. They're gonna go do the reptile walkthrough video the day after they clean everything up. You
Facts.
get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And you don't realize that that's a lot of work. Number one, it also involves money because you have to purchase things to get those things done. Or you have a bunch of bioactives every now and then. You got to refresh the soil. You got to clean the glass. You got to trim the plants. Um, breeding Presties is super simple. But at the end of the day, everybody, looks at it like, I don't know how everybody looks at it, first of all. So let me not put everybody under one umbrella. But it seems that when I talk to people and they're asking me about breeding and this, that, the other, one of the things that I get a lot is, oh, I want a ready to breed adult male and a female, and I'm like, well, so what are you trying to do? I have some, but what you trying to do? I just want to make babies. And it's like, all right, well, I feel that. I was excited too. I wanted to make babies. Now, do you have at least 26 quart bins ready? Do you have all the medical care that you need ready? Or are you going to have a prolapse and now you got to order from Amazon, wait the 2 days for it to come to your house, or have to run and find a vet in the middle of the night that you can trust that is reptile worthy? Like, all of these things, do you have it ready? Because just because it hasn't happened to you doesn't mean it won't.
Facts.
And it's better to be prepared. So a lot of people get away with not having things ready, and it's okay until it happens. And then that happening puts stress on yourself and makes you feel, and this happens, then this happens, then this happens, and those things start building up. And that all of that stress builds on you, and it could mess you up mentally, you know? And if you don't have the reinforcements to help you get through that, if you're by yourself or whatever the case may be, that could be the end of your journey, you know? If you don't have a person to answer the questions that, or if you're not a reader, like I was talking to one of a friend of mine, and I was even saying, there possibly should be some type of licensing to breed. And I know this is going to go on YouTube and stuff, but I honestly feel like if you can have a class 3 license, if you can get a class 3 license, if you have to go to vets and certain things are looked down upon, care or whatever, so then why not, let's just start like a license to pass to be a breeder, you know? Why is it like we're so quick to pin somebody on the wall when it comes to, oh, I found a bunch of animals in the garbage, or there was poop in your deli cup, or your container is way too small for the animal. Like, bro, if you run a red light, the police stop you, they give you a ticket, you go to the court of law. It's either you're guilty or you're not guilty. where are the people that are telling people they're guilty or not guilty? This is just and that's a mental toll as well. You know, living your daily life like, am I doing this right? Oh my God, I put this picture up and these people are commenting on this stuff and saying these bad things about me. I didn't mean to do that. Like, I made a mistake. Give me another chance. You sometimes you ruin people's whole livelihood without even giving them a chance to speak. I could never understand that. Like, I've never been like that. You know, even back in school, if Johnny came to me at lunch and was like, "Oh, Joey went in through your book bag," I'm like, "Okay, yo, Joey, did you go in through my book bag?" "No, man. The zipper was open and you had left class already, so I just closed it for you so nobody could take your pencils." Cool. But it looked like he went through my book bag, you know? So before I went to the principal saying that, "Oh, Johnny told me Joey went and robbed the pencil from my book bag." "Joey, what's up?" "Oh, you just closed my book bag for me. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you." Because I had a special pencil in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we're so quick to think everything is evil. Not everything is evil, man. Some things are good, but people make mistakes. And then the things that are evil are bad because they're covered in glamour and flashiness. We don't see it until it's too late because we just accept the glamour and the fashion, the glamour and the flashiness as it's beautiful, it's great, it has to be awesome. So when we're talking about mental health and these type of issues, what I would say I've learned in my time here, and I still have a lot more time to go, and I think patience, take your time, think about things, do not worry about what other people say and do, and relax and have fun. You know, enjoy what you have, enjoy how it's being built. If you wasn't successful this year, you have next year. Every day you wake up is a new day. So what happened yesterday happened yesterday. Closed. We move on to the next. Today's a new day, you know? Um Failures, I've had many failures in breeding practices and animals, and nothing came easy. A lot of the stuff I learned on my own. A lot of these things I've done, expansions, tank building, um, electric misting, I've done on my own with my own research. Um, I ask questions here and there when possible, or I watch a lot of things, or I read a lot. But you know, you're gonna make mistakes when you haven't done it before. So
Sounds like
take
life,
those.
man. It sounds like all of these things that you go through in your reptile pursuit are pretty much things that men in general struggle with in life, right? Failures, small victories, the necessity to the need to please the masses, I mean, all of these things are life,
Yeah, man. It
challenges, if you will. These are things that I'd imagine a lot of people could apply to their daily lives, just, the things you go through in the reptile world. I mean, you do a lot. You got, again, big shoes to fill, man. You got a family to feed, a wife to make happy, animals to take care of, your job. You have people under you at your job to look up to for direction. I mean,
yeah, it's
unfortunately,
and,
I think every man can handle that. It's
no, and then you have the kind of stigma of, I'm a man, so I'm not
facts.
supposed to go into the corner and cry or be
Facts.
stressed out, you know?
You're not allowed
I
to
can't.
have feelings. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to do anything but do what you said you were gonna do. No,
But it happens, man. I've I've sat on the couch and cried sometimes, and then I wipe my eyes and I'm like, yo, let's go. Let's do it. It could always be worse, right, mom? Right. Let's go. Or struggling like, damn, this
it's
is not
amazing you
working
can do
out.
that though. It's amazing. Because it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. You know, a lot of us men could all relate to being at a point in our lives where we just didn't know. We just didn't know what the next move was. You know, but if you could convince yourself, like, you know what, there's someone in a grave right now that's wishing they had my worst day. You know, wishing they could live my worst day.
Yeah,
And
man.
and it could always be worse, right? You could always be in that box 6 feet in the ground, man. As long as you're breathing and you can stand on your own too, you can make a move, right? And ah, hey, I
And the thing is, like the way, and I'm guilty of it also. I'm guilty of it also. So I'm not pointing the finger at nobody but myself, but I'm telling you, like, these are things that I realize myself. We get caught up in constantly wanting
yeah, that's
more
society. That's
and
the
more
society
and
for you.
more.
You know,
That's just the society for you. Like, we want more and more and more and more. And sometimes I have to reel myself in, like, bro, like, you know, I want to have my own brick and mortar reptile business and this, that, the other. And I want to be this and I want to get up the corporate ladder and I want to buy a bigger house. And bro, I want to trade my Tacoma in for a freaking Forerunner. And at the end of the day, sometimes I wake up, bro, and I'm like, shit, man. I am good.
yeah,
God bless me.
absolutely,
Look at
yeah,
this. I am
absolutely,
happy. You gotta really, I walk into my kitchen like box of cherry cokes in the fridge, full, brand new, no problem.
absolutely,
Bacon and eggs there. Okay, I walk outside. I'm like, ooh, orchids are blooming. Brand new box of Newports for me to smoke. Nice. Go to the pond. Oh, baby fish, shrimp are popping up. Okay, I go into the gecko room. Oh, shoot. Look at this that just hatched. Beautiful. Go outside. Cars are gassed up. They look nice. It's not a Ferrari, but that thing got AC and it plays music like none before. I'm good.
it's a beautiful perspective. And again, that's the sad part is that, and maybe you're a good person to even just ask for advice. But what would you say to all the men out there that don't feel that they could do what you do? The men struggling with addiction issues because they feel like nothing but a failure. The men that wake up in the morning and can't seem to drag themselves out of bed because society has set the standards for them so high that they just can't measure up. What advice would you tell these guys that feel as if they have no tomorrow? What would you tell them? What would you tell them?
That you have a tomorrow every day that you wake up. So, baby steps, don't give up, man. Like, just keep pushing forward. And this doesn't come from, listen, man, I've hit rock bottom where I've had nothing many times. Like,
Feel you.
but
Facts.
I've hit rock bottom where I've had nothing, where I've had no one. Um, Many times I've lost everything. And at the end of the day, the one thing that you will always have until you don't have it no more is life. You wake up every day, a new day. You could wake up a new person every
I was gonna say
day.
that you could really reinvent yourself every day you're
Every
breathing.
day. Like, I would say, if you, now don't get it twisted. Like, some people don't want to change. That comes from inside. Like, if you really want to change, bro, day by day, change something. It doesn't have to be everything, but day by day, change something, do something different, because nothing changes unless something changes.
You got to take that first step. You got to want to, right? You got to want
You gotta
to.
want to.
True, and we all have wants, but I can tell you God's honest truth for me personally. The one thing I wake up every day and want to do is live. I want to live. I value life and breathing so much. And again, I relate to you. I've lost everything, many a times, many a times. And I almost feel guilty. I almost feel guilty for the people out there that don't make it, the people that feel like there's no tomorrow. I feel guilty because I probably had less than they had at their worst moment. And I wound up coming out on my feet, and it's sad because I know they can, I know you can. I know that these men are caught up in their head, these men that are killing themselves. I watched a YouTube clip today from Rob Hansen. He breeds a bunch of new cow geckos and stuff. And I guess coming up February is Suicide Prevention Month. And he actually had a brother, his own brother, that had committed suicide and was dealing with substance abuse issues. And I'm not talking ill about him. He posted this on social media, so I don't feel bad saying it, or I'm not trying to put his business out there. But he made a post and showed a picture of his brother and said he has substance abuse issues. He was struggling with addiction, and he wound up killing himself in 2011. So he's running the Boston Marathon. Huge shout out to Rob for that. That's huge. And he's raising money for suicide prevention. And it really, I haven't stopped thinking about it all day today. I have not stopped thinking about it all day. And it hurts me. It really does pain me to think about how bad someone's got to feel to say, this is it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm killing myself. I'm done. I'm done. I wish I knew what to say to these people. I wish I had some magic words. I wish I had a healing touch, a gift to give, us something that could show them there's a tomorrow, And one thing that I will say, and to relate this to reptiles, is even with this podcast, I refuse to shun anyone. You never know how bad someone's doing. You never know how good someone's doing. But you may be one person saving grace just by being nice. Some people just need to be acknowledged. Some people just need a simple hello or a little bit of recognition. Like, what you're doing is great. Hey, I don't know you from Adam, but you're doing some ethical shit. I'm proud of you, man. Cool. Thanks for contributing. So many people are so caught up in their own fucking heads that they feel they have the right to be mean or to exclude people or to do, treat people other than how they want to be treated. It's at the end of the day, and I'm not trying to get religious by any means, but it is the golden rule, right? And if there was no God and I die tomorrow and that's just it and there is no God, I won't feel bad for living my life like that. I won't feel bad for treating people how I wish to be treated. And my point in saying that is that it can save lives. You could save lives, man. As men, being kind to fucking people, we could fucking save someone's life and walk them off the edge. Just be kind. Show people that their lives matter. You may be beefing with your wife. Your kids may think you're fucking worthless. You may have been fired. You're broke. You're still worth something. You're worth something. You're worth fucking living, man.
It's true.
It's and if it's reptiles, if it's this community, if it's reptiles that give you purpose, if you knowing that taking care of them is your reason for living. And I say it a million times too, and I don't necessarily mean that I would kill myself. But my dog is the reason I do everything I fucking do, man. I wake up every day and I keep my ass out of trouble because I got a dog to come home to. There's been many times I've been out in the world, man, and says, you know what? You got it twisted with the wrong one, motherfucker. We going to one.
You you hear so many people, man. I admire that shit when I hear a story. I used to be an alcoholic, or I used to be a drug addict, or I was incarcerated, or whatever the case may be, or I lost everything and I slowly came up and I got myself a reptile and my life completely changed.
Found purpose.
You know what I'm saying? Reptiles change lives.
Sure. Absolutely.
Reptiles change lives.
Absolutely.
People that are stressed out, it reduces their stress, anxiety. It helps children build essential fundamentals to use for life.
Sure.
Like,
Builds
it
friendships. Bro, reptiles brought me and you
builds
together, Mark,
friendships.
and I ain't never even shook your hand yet, and I consider you one of my best friends, bro. I called
Yo,
you how
right?
many times I call Mark all the time just to talk shit. Just because I got someone I relate to, man. And if it weren't for reptiles, half the time we really don't even talk about reptiles. We just talk shit. Bike ride and
Yeah.
everything else we have in fucking common. And it's reptiles did that. Reptiles forged a relationship that will probably last another 50 fucking years. 50 years. And it can do so many things, man. This passion we all have ties us all together in one way or another, right? And if it brings you closer to a person that lives a completely different life, that may be inspiration. You may forge a relationship to someone that's not doing so well. Maybe it'll give you the power to help them do better just by talking to people and acknowledging people. It's there's so much negativity in this world in general, and it just, you don't need it in the place that we all come for joy. It's sad sometimes, and I see people beefing, and people are really beefing about opinions, right? Why can't we just agree to disagree? Your opinion, that's your God-given fucking right. That's your opinion. Doesn't make it mine. Doesn't make it a fact. Doesn't make anything. It's your opinion. So many people go and get into wars and battles and forge lines in a community over opinions.
Yeah. It's okay not to agree.
Facts.
The
Disagreements
thing
lead to facts. Disagreements lead to studies that ultimately lead to facts. If there was no disagreement in this world, where would the fuck we be?
Yeah. And it's also okay to put both people's perspective out there. Like, hey, Mark feels this way and he wears the New York Yankee hat because he thinks that, and Anthony feels he wears the Mets hat because he thinks that. And at the end of the day, let's figure out who's going to be the champion. The New
Always
York
stirs it
Yankees
up.
might be they may be the champion this year. The Mets may be the champion next year, and guess what? The year after that, none of them even made it. So what's the sense in arguing? That's one of the things I do at my job. Like, we're all visual. We go into a store and we all look at the wall, and you may say, well, I think we should do it blue and white. And I'm like, well, I think we should do blue and white with a pop of yellow going through. And they say, well, you know what? What about blue and white with bright colors all popping through? And everybody visually sees something different. And at the end of the day, we cannot sit there and start arguing about it. We're the corporate team that just came into this store, and everybody's waiting for us to paint this beautiful picture and go throughout the entire store and then leave on Friday and leave it immaculate, brand new again. So we need to be like, well, we're going to do blue and white. Anthony, I say blue and white with a pop of yellow. You, blue and white with some pops of bright colors. You, blue and white and green. All right, so blue and white with a pop of bright colors. And everybody's happy. Let's get it done, And at the end of the day, we boom, 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 boom. You're right. Blue and white with yellow. We're good.
It's compromise. It's called compromise. People get
Compromise.
so caught up and refuse. So stubborn. It's just.
But at the end of the day, the thing about it is understanding. It's not only compromise, but it's understanding. Stop trying to always understand yourself and understand the next person. sometimes I don't understand you, so I'll leave you alone. We don't have to understand each other, and that goes 110%. I don't have to understand you, but at least I try to understand you. That's a difference. But if I don't even try to understand what you're saying or doing, I'm shutting you down right away. So at least try to understand where they're coming from or what they're saying. Like,
Facts.
I
That
ask
happens a
questions.
lot. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know, people fail to understand where someone's coming from. And they get so cemented on their belief that it's like, you know what, whatever, nobody's, I don't even want to hear what no one else has to say. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
happens
It's
a lot.
and all of these things contribute to mental instability, mental illness, stress. Like the and I guess a lot I could say I've experienced these things that I'm talking about. Like, it feels good to talk about it, you know?
Good.
It feels relieving. But I could imagine how many people are going through, especially coming into the hobby, right? And being inspired by so many others, wanting to do the things that they see others doing, and then finding out it's not as easy as it looks. There's not as many helping hands as it's portrayed. There's so many, and this is in the reptile hobby itself. I'm not talking about just geckos. I'm talking about reptiles in general. We're talking that's the whole stratosphere of reptiles. Every single species of animal, every single operation of the reptile industry when it comes to shipping, vending, or everything has its negativity. Don't get caught up in its negativity. I cut it off. Like, I don't want to be part of any of that shit. And whoever's close to me, we talk about certain things here and there, but I don't deal with none of that. Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have 4 mouths to feed. I have 4 people that I am responsible for. Like, I have to come home. I have people that depend on me. So they depend on me for their lives, not to mention how many animals I have a responsibility to that I chose to devote my time and life to. Like, I don't go on vacations, I don't go to bars, I don't drink, I don't party. The most I do is ride my freaking bike or take a trail walk through the Everglades, which now I stopped because my wife don't like me going out in the middle of the night by myself. So if you out in South Florida and you like to ride bike and you like to go freaking herping in the nighttime, I'm looking for some partners because that's the only way my wife is gonna let me do it. All
Sounds like a
right.
good business idea. It could be a guide, bro. Be a guide, do guided bike rides through the Everglades. That's a business plan, dog. That's a
That's a
business
business
plan.
plan.
Yo,
That's a business plan.
guided
No
rides. You
lie.
could buy a whole bunch of bikes. Just buy some badass bikes. You rent them to them when they come down. Tourists to come down and they want to go through the Everglades. You take them on guided bike rides through the Everglades. They don't even
Oh
need
my
to bring their
gosh.
bikes. Business idea. Bam.
Boom. Done. Done. Call my job, put my 2 weeks in. We out of
Yo,
here.
bro, you think I'm playing, bro? You live in one of the
No.
most traveled to states in the country, right? More people travel to the 3 top was Texas, California, and Florida. I think Florida was #1 most traveled to destination over California and then Texas. So if you take that, dude, I know people down there that do fishing charter trips, man. My boy Eddie from up here moved to Florida 6 years ago. He got a boat. He goes fishing out of St. Pete. Dude, he works year round. People travel the country from all over the country, come to St. Pete. He goes out for 4-hour trips and 8-hour trips. He makes $1,000 or $2,500, depending on the trip. Now he'll do 2 trips a day or 1 8-hour trip a day, just taking people out fishing, doing what he loves to do. You could take people out that want to go for bike rides. My boss, good friend of mine, goes to Costa Rica and Belize. Every time and every place he goes there, you know what they do? They rent bikes. They rent bikes and they go on these tours through the Amazon and do all types of shit. Why aren't you doing it? Taking cats out on bikes through the Everglades.
You know, that is a good freaking idea. I'm not gonna lie. That is a good you're saying that, and I just dazed out for a
I see you
second. Like
doing it.
I saw myself with like 10 specialized gravel
Yup.
bikes, telling everybody, "All right, guys, suit up, helmet up.
Yup.
We're about to." That would be so cool,
It don't even
actually.
take much. I mean, you'd have to buy the bikes, but
Yeah,
as far as starting the business, you don't need much. You know, your passion, some advertising, you know what I'm saying? Like dude, a name, some
that would be
advertising, a
crazy.
logo, and link up with some travel agencies. You know what I'm saying? They're always looking to take on people to entice their guests. You know, they'll do half the work for you. Say, listen, we offer this. You know,
Yeah, I could imagine how many people come to Florida to do that.
I would
I
pay
was
in a
just talking.
heartbeat, bro. I would pay in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, I would do it. Everybody wants to go through the Everglades, but nobody knows it. How many people don't go because they're scared? Like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Oh, but we got this dude knows where he's going. Oh, this is what he
yeah,
does. Bet.
yeah.
Let's go.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool, man.
I'm
That's
surprised don't
cool.
nobody do it. If I'm being honest.
That is true. That is true. And not only that, it's not even that dangerous because we're on bikes doing bike trails, like,
Facts.
and just experiencing nature. That would be.
Facts. $65
I just
a
met some.
head, bike included, hour ride. You be getting exercise, making money. You know, you'd be killing it. Killing it.
Yeah,
Killing
yeah.
it.
I just met somebody, man. Like, and like, I've been wanting to go, but the way older man, he had to be in his 80s, right? Very fragile, talking. He had a shirt on. It said Costa Rica Conservatory. And I told him, like, that's one of my things when I vend shows. Um, that's one of my things that I learned from when I started in Ralph Lauren. You know, open-ended questions. You never talk to somebody with a close-ended question. So when one of the things I've always picked up is I look at the person. 99% of the time, there's something that you have in common with a person just by looking at them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I saw this gentleman, older man, come to my table, and the first thing I saw was Costa Rica Conservatory. There was a name of the conservatory, I forget right now, but I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. You've been there, bro? When I tell you, he was like this. When I said that, he went, "Oh man, you have to go. It is amazing." Like, we talked for about 30 minutes about it. But the way his whole life just lit up, I was like, "Oh shit, I have to go to Costa Rica." Like, when you going again? Let me know. Like, he said, "Oh yeah, there's a nice guided tour. They have a conservatory in the middle of the jungle, and this is that the other." The way. But
I know
if I would
exactly
have
what he's
never,
talking about too. I know exactly the place he's talking about. They did a big Scarlet McCall reintroduction thing. It's in the middle. I know all about it.
that's exactly what he was talking about. Yep. He said the scarlet macaws. He was saying about a certain lizard that they're working with. Um, there's a
Oh
few things.
yeah, it's a type of iguana. It's
Yeah,
I forgot about that. You're absolutely right. They're working with these. There's two different types of iguanas: a yellow one and a black one. And I know it sounds crazy and probably not true, but through the gecko community, I met a girl that goes to the University of Connecticut. She wanted to buy a gecko. She was looking at some of my stuff. I didn't have what she wanted, but I put her on to someone who ultimately did. And I always told her, I said, if you ever need help with anything, you know, you didn't have to buy from me for me to help you. I'll gladly help you. So through this little friendship, come to find out she's going to UConn to be a vet. She passed all of her stuff, but in order to be a vet, she had to do some type of internship. So she wound up going to that place in Costa Rica to do her internship, helping animals that got hit by cars, the scarlet macaws, these two different types of iguanas. So while she was down there, she was sending me all types of pictures and telling me everything she was doing. And it was that place in Costa Rica in the middle of the jungle, something conservatory. The monkeys, because they're really populating Costa Rica, they're putting up all these power lines. They have a huge problem with the monkeys getting blasted by the power lines. So they're always trying to fix these monkeys, and that's what she was doing for her internship for the veterinary school thing. But
Mm.
all through reptiles, man, all through the reptiles, and she'll be a vet, and she's trying to become an exotic animal vet. It's cool shit.
You know, another thing before I forget, because I thought about it when I was talking about walking. Another thing that's very taxing, it's like Instagram. Instagram, I will tell you, is a job in itself.
Facts.
And I've taken time off, and I be honest with you, like my cousin does marketing, and he tells me, "Hey, you can't take time off. You got to be there 24/7. This is that the at the end of the day, I felt so good taking time off from Instagram. I felt so good not hearing about these things and seeing these posts and what is going bad in the community, and the gecko market is crashing, and I'm getting out of Cresties and don't do it. Oh, I felt so good. Like,
We have a unique
take time
perspective
off.
being our age, Mark. We're in a very rare group right now. You know, we I don't know that there's a name for it, but we're in a age group of people that have grown up without it, and now we see it. A lot of kids out here and people that are a little bit younger than us know nothing but social media. We've seen the before, and we're living the now. You know, so it's harder for us in a sense because let's face it, Instagram is, we're searching for recognition, right? We're showing things off. It's a constant battle to show something that validates us in some way, right? We're subconsciously looking for validation, right? I'm showing my pictures to the community and people that do what I do because I want to be recognized for me doing what I do. You know, it's and it's not really what we want to do. Again, that's the subconscious us. That's us not knowing that we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, if you will. But who we are is still in the 80s. We just want to be out in the streets on our bike, right? I don't know what happened with Johnny Joe when I run into Johnny Joe. I don't need to hear that he just did this while he's 200 miles away. I mean, it's like, yo, like, now when I see you, we got nothing to fucking talk about because I've seen your whole life on a computer all day. You know? It's changed everything. It's this social media has changed the world we once knew. You know?
Yeah.
It's a battle. It's mentally fucking draining.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, you have to work with algorithms. You have to work with constantly posting captions that are engaging and things like that. And I'm by far no expert. I tune in to Tiki's for his advice when it comes to that stuff like that. Shout out David and his YouTube subscription, because I've been a member since I don't even remember how long, and I listen to all his advice. But I be honest with you, he's a social media tycoon. That man knows what the hell he's doing. Praise to him. Not everybody could be David, bro. You get what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
you can try and find your own niche, but you're not gonna kick him out and take over. David is David. You get so I understand that. That's just not for me. I like it. It's just not for me to get to that level. Like, it entails a lot. Like,
takes work, sure. Sure.
But when you put up a picture, and I'm talking about the new people, the people that have been doing this, they know what they're doing good and what they're doing bad. But I'm talking about the new people because it 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 did get to me at times where I was trying so much, and I'm like, damn, bro, but I I paid $50,000 for this gecko, and I put a picture of it, and only 5 people liked it. Like, what's going on here? And then you start learning, bro, who cares you paid $50,000 for the gecko? One. Two, just because you married your wife and you're in love with her, that doesn't mean I'd marry her. Like, I want to marry this woman. So you like that gecko? I don't, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. You may not like this gecko, and I love the gecko.
That's really beautiful in a sense, that's how I envision the hobby to be. Fuck, excuse my language, but fuck what the next man likes. Work with what you like. I breed these red animals. I was in my room last night looking at some of these red animals, and I'm like, yo, these shits are fire. One of the first pieces of advice I ever got in this reptile game about 8.5 years ago now was, don't work with those reds, man. Leave them alone. People don't like them. They're old news. Do tricolors. I'm like, but I like them. I like the reds. Like, I like them. And at that point in time, I vowed to, not in a disrespectful way, give a fuck what the next man does, but I'm not gonna do what you do because you think it's cool. For me to keep my mental sanity, I need to be doing what I enjoy. And that just happens to be these red animals, right? Like,
bro, you guys that are starting, because really and truly, if you've been doing this for a long time, there's no telling you what to do. You've been doing it for a long time. But those of you that are starting, don't do something just because you see somebody else doing it. Do what really you like to do. Because when those times come, you don't like I had one of the other vendors come to me, and one of the things that happens in the shows that I don't like is people start, hey, did you make a lot of money? Did you sell a lot of things? And it's like, bro, first of all, I come from that era where that's called watching your pocket. Like, I don't watch people's pockets, number one. Like, so I don't care how much money you made. I just want to know if you had a good time or not, right? Number two, a reptile show is about so much more than just how much money you made. So yeah, I understand you're trying to gauge the how much money and whatever the case may be, but interactions, web page, social media, Palm Street, like,
how many
just
people got their
teaching.
first animal from you? How many people got their first reptile from you? How many
You
people
know,
did you just bring into this hobby? How many your
it-
passion changed some kid's life?
or seeing an animal that they've only seen on TV in person for the first time, or explaining a key piece of their care that they were questioning or did not know the whole time, and you just helped them out. You know what I'm saying? There's so much to do at a reptile show. Um, so I had somebody come up and they were like, "Yo, Mark, what's up, man? How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good." And they're like, "Oh, I don't even know why I asked you that question, because you always smiling and do good." Because I never really care about the money. And not all the time do I make money. Sometimes I don't. But you will never know that. You'll never know when I make the most money, and you'll never know when I don't make shit. Because at the end of the day, I am just honored to have been on the other side of the table, running around shopping all crazy, to have made it to be a vendor and be part of this reptile hobby. Like, I've watched myself grow I was born in 1981, so I'm 32. Do the math. Um, I've been running reptile shows for that long, okay? And I finally have now been on the other side of the table. Not only that, bro, I'm on a podcast. Like I, I'm on Palm Street doing lives. I'm vending shows. I'm driving out of Pembroke Pines to vend shows other places.
You got a
Like,
brand. You built a brand, man. It's awesome. You don't turned the gecko game into Ralph Lauren. It's you built a brand, man, and that's probably not that I can read your mind, but me knowing you, you probably modeled it off of something, right? Like you built your business off of something. You know, you got ideas and you put a brand together. Like I said, there's not many angles you don't got covered. You got more angles covered than most people got covered. Palm Streets, podcasts, shows, your room, everything you do to social media, you have you built a brand. You've established a brand. That's huge. It's huge. Deserves a pat on the back, you know. Not everyone, you know, and I'm not doubting everyone, but I'll tell you this, like Mark gave you one of his favorite quotes from his mother. This isn't from my mother, but one of the quotes that I replay in my head is just because some people make shit look easy, don't mean it's easy, right? Takes hard work to make something look good. Takes hard work to make something look easy. Just because you see a bunch of people doing it and it looks sweet, don't mean it is. Be ready to do the work. You know, you got to prepare yourself to do things that other people won't do if you want to stand out. You know, and Mark does it well. Mark does it very well. Perfect example of it. There's nothing that the reptile hobby consists of that Mark doesn't do. You know, he's selling animals, he's selling cages, he's vending shows, he's doing podcasts, he's doing Palm Streets, he's doing Morph Market. There's not a place in a reptile hobby that you're going to go that you don't see that green and black logo and a gecko. That's huge. That's huge.
Trying,
and got a wife and kids and a mortgage. It's inspiration, to be honest. You know, it's and a full-time job. And a full-time job that's not the geckos. It's huge.
trying, and you do get stressed out. You do find, but at the end of the day, I think one of the things that helps me is breathing. My father, we we were always in a martial arts family. My father had a martial arts school when I was young, and I practiced Okinawan Goju-Ryu, and one of the katas that we do is called Sangching, and it's just a breathing kata. And when times get rough, you feel it. You feel it go. It's gone, And that when you hold that in and it keeps on, everything is happening. And another thing too, man, I'm a firm believer. I don't know. I'm a firm believer. I've seen it happen, and I may be crazy for this, but whatever. Like I said, positivity attracts positivity. Projecting what you want to do, bro. I remember when I first started this, and I said, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The difference is, don't think it's going to happen in a day or a year. I'm going to have my reptile store. Maybe it takes me 20 years. Maybe it takes me 10.
Good for you.
I'm going to have it. Guarantee you, I'm going to have one. Like, I'm going to have one. When I get one, my time will come. I don't need to rush to get it. With breeding, with the stress of breeding, getting all of these animals, bro, my first 4 years, I was breeding without nobody even knowing who I was, and I was holding animals here. when I started vending shows, nobody even knew who the hell. I didn't ask nobody if I could vend a show or how to vend the show. Or I used to go to shows, walk around, and just watch people's tables. Like, ooh, that's cool there. Those lights. Let me look at those lights. Take a picture. Look it up. Where did they get these deli cups from? Multiple research. I wasn't asking everybody all of these questions. How do I register for Repticon? And oh, okay, I need this, I need that. Okay, how do I get this? Let me go get this, and I need that. Let me go get that. And I did all of that on my own. And then, oh shit, I registered for a show. What do? Oh my God, I don't have 100 animals. Right, my first show, I had like 8 animals. I was there with my daughter, my son, my wife. I had no idea what the hell I was getting myself into. You know, people were coming to my table. It was amazing. Talking about animals, kids were talking about animals. Like all the knowledge of me doing all my research and knowledge of caring for the animals from when I was younger, I was just able to talk about it. Like, well, I did this and I did that and I did this. And I grew and grew and grew. You know, it was fun. It was fun. It was my first show. I didn't care if I had $1 that I made. You know what I really cared about?
What's up?
That somebody would just stop at my table and say hello and talk to me. That was what I was worried about. Forget about if I was making $1 and I paid for my table and I bought lights and I bought the black sheet for the table and I didn't have no deli cups. I said to myself, well, I was looking for something different. All I cared about was, oh my God, babe, I just don't want people to walk past us and not even stop and talk to us. At least if you stop and talk to me, you can see where I'm coming from, you know?
And how did it go?
Because
Did people stop and talk to you?
people freaking stopped and talked to me. Like I went home after those 2 days and I'm like, oh, the gecko room. We made $25, but we in the building.
Awesome.
Like, that's it.
Put yourself on a
And I
map.
made it.
Oh.
And then as I grew, you know, oh, at first I had everything in this room. Now this is leaf tails. Everything else is in that room over there. As I grow, as like you said, I have a regular job. I have this. You know, I take weeks off from my regular job to really work super hard here. So I never really have off unless it's a couple of hours here and there. Um, that gets stressful. But at the end of the day, what really brings me down and cools me is knowing take a step out of the atmosphere and look in, seeing what you have, what you have accomplished, like how many of those reds you have, you know, those lychees, those chihuahuas. Look at the calendar just popped up. I gotta go do a podcast. Like all of that, you gotta appreciate, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those stresses will go away. You know, a lot of those stresses will go away when you focus on what you have instead of focusing on what you don't.
Do you have
Um,
aspirations to do shows in other states? Like, do you want to go take the Gecko Room to the West Coast? Do you want to go across the country, hit Arizona, hit Texas, hit Cali? How far? Like, what would you say the next move would be? You know, before you ultimately get your end prize and have this reptarium style store shop. What's how stressful is it? How do you deal with it? How do you stick to the script? How do you stick to the script knowing that this ain't it? You've accomplished so much, but this ain't it. How do you avoid becoming complacent?
I don't. The thing about me is that whatever I do, I go so hard doing it, like video games, mountain biking, like it just when it comes to this reptile stuff, my my inspiration comes from a lot of the, Paul Morlock, Frank Payne, these books, Philippe. Like I wasted that time in school and I didn't really hone in on probably what I should have honed in on, where I would have been good at. I went towards computer science in college. I went towards auto mechanics, but I always went out looking for animals and I always had animals throughout my entire life. I probably should have honed in on these things because I see these guys doing these things and, going to New Caledonia and going to Costa Rica. And these are the things that they just inspire me. I'm like, wow. So when I look at myself and what I'm doing, it's baby steps. It's not that I want to. I'm going to go to California. When I'm ready, you know, I'm gonna get out there for sure. Pomona Super Show, I believe is the one. Yeah, that's a check mark in my book. First and foremost, I'm trying to go up the East Coast. I got to get to New York. I got to get to
Hope
New
so,
York.
like planes.
Some of these breeders that are there, I probably was there when I was a little kid running around. You know what I'm saying? And an honor to go back to my home. All of these great breeders up there, and that goes for all the shows. Like, go to New York to vend side by side with some of these greats like BB's, Who's Geckos, Gecko and Gecko with the tokays and stuff.
Jimmy, yeah.
Like, and if I missed your name, I missed your name. I'm gonna see you there eventually, though. I'm getting there. North Carolina, Atlanta,
That's another
then
huge
start
one. Atlanta get huge shows over there too.
all of those. And once I go up north, my plan is to start going west.
Go
Hit up the
towards
girl.
Tinley. You built a brand that's worthy. That's for damn sure. That's something to be proud of again too. You could take your whole setup, go set up at Tinley, and bang out with the best of them, man. I mean that's
Tinley for me. You see, that's the kind of thing that's what I be on, right? Tinley. I need 15 years for me to register for Tinley. For me, this is the goal I set for myself. Why? 15 years not only gives me knowledge and wisdom, it also gives me enough generations to have my own line. In my eyes, you know what I'm saying? That is what I feel helps me with my stress and my mental health. Is I didn't start this to just jump in and start selling. I didn't start this to just jump in and this is my line. I didn't start this to jump in and go vend at the biggest reptile show there is with all of these breeders that are known across the world that have been doing this for 20 plus years. Baby steps. I know my place and I know my lane. And it's like a practice for me to continue getting prepared for the big show. You know what I'm saying? Before Kevin Hart filled up Madison Square Garden, he was doing comedy shows at the little
Apollo.
comedy joint, you know? And before he was doing movies, he was doing so the way I look at it is I'm growing. I will get there. I'm not ready yet though. And maybe I am ready, but for me, I'm not. I will be though. I will be. I just have to check off some marks that are before that. But Tinley is my ultimate goal. When I make it to Tinley, right? And maybe for others it's like it's just Tinley is a reptile show. For me, it's an honor. it's wow. Like, look at some of the people that are walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Or
Like,
not to
this
take
is
nothing from
cool.
Tinley, because obviously it's a great show, but it would be, I mean, for me personally, twice as satisfying to see you in White Plains. You know, White Plains is much older, much older than Tinley, and it's your home stomping ground, man. You know, you walk those
Yeah.
aisles in that auditorium, bro, as a kid. You know, as a kid, looking at those things, and probably were inspired then subconsciously. You know, walking around seeing those animals and those breeders. Now to see you back there, you know, 25, 30 years later, behind the table in White Plains would be like, this motherfucker, man. The shit he you know, went through the whole process, all the doubt, all the, how many people, like you were mentioning earlier, they're selling out of the geckos, they did this, they never make it to the next step. They come in with these dreams and these aspirations and plans, and takes one bad day and they're like, I'm done. I'm out. I'm selling everything. Collection's over, you know?
It's 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 because it looks easy. It looks easy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm very operational, and I adapt to things very quick. Um that's just my nature. I think I'm good at that, to be honest with you, where I see other people get stressed out and can't overcome problems, I find solutions to things, you know? Um but you have to really think things through. Like, geckos specifically, now let's just talk about the gecko world. Bro, these things are like Pokemons. There's so many colors, so many patterns. Like, it's an addiction. You get caught up in it. And then on top of that, you think right away, oh, I bought $2,000 geckos. I'm gonna make $2,000 geckos.
Might make
And
one.
and now you have 20 babies. And oh shoot, well, I just paired 20 animals. And you're getting all of these babies coming up, and you didn't even buy bins for them. And now you have stuck shed issues. You never had a baby, so you don't know how to take care of a baby. You so
Facts.
all of these things start adding up. And it's not to say that not everyone could do this, but some people, it's okay to just be a pet owner. You know,
Absolutely.
you don't have to be a breeder. I have some animals
People.
that I don't breed. Like, I have animals that I do breed. I have some animals that I don't breed. They're just pets.
Absolutely.
Um, and I know it's kind of, I'm trying to find the word for me to say it's okay that you don't breed, but yet I'm breeding. I get that. But especially if you're new to reptiles, sometimes, bro, just enjoy your animals for a little bit. You know, take it step by step. Like, get the care, take care of the animal, be successful with taking care of the animal, and then be successful with reproducing them. You know, learn how to raise a baby to an adult. See what can happen, what can go wrong. The- the- if you're gonna breed, breed one pair. Take care of those babies. Like, I've seen it.
Could be a
I've seen it.
handful.
Like,
One pair give you more babies than you can handle, man. Quick too. You know?
yeah,
20 people
man.
always say 24, 24, 24. Like you're gonna get, you know, two clutches. Man, I got females that have given me 30 eggs in a season. You know, it's they don't stop laying. You know, it's it can become overwhelming real fast. You know that becomes taxing. You know, and if you're producing animals like you had mentioned earlier, and I'm not judging people, but some people just want to make animals. If you don't have a real passion for what you're doing, these animals can easily become a burden. You know, they can become a burden. And if you're not excited to walk into your reptile room every day and see what you have, it can become a challenge. You know, it's It's real. It's real.
It's a real deal thing. And if if you let it get to you and you go back to your old ways and stuff like that, then you lost. Don't let yourself lose. You want to win. Let the animals are great for grounding you, like, but it can also drown you. So you have to be cautious at the speed that you're going, because, bro, when you look at a lot of information and you read a lot of books and you talk to a lot of people, right? You could have 10 breeders tell you 10 different ways of breeding. And for somebody that's new, that can be frustrating,
Yeah. We've been there.
overwhelming.
We've been there.
Yes. This is why I say it was very interesting for me when I'm like, damn, well, this person said 74, this person says 75, this person says 76, this person says 77, and this person says 78. So what do I do? And you just gotta take it easy and relax, and okay, 74 to 78. There we go. Like, let's do the percentage.
Gotta see what works for you. You gotta,
What
it
works
can
for
be
you?
overwhelming for sure, for sure. Just coming into this talking about mental health. I mean, it could drive you crazy if you let it, you know, it could absolutely drive you crazy if you're reading books. I mean, I got a rack of books and some of them contradict each other, like some say some books I have say pairing Chihuahua at 18 months is fine. I got other books that say don't even let them see the opposing sex until they're 3. It's, and you look at these books like, hey, it's on paper, it's got to be true, but again, it can be frustrating, it can be overwhelming, taxing. This reptile thing can easily become, I can see it becoming a burden to some people that especially see people with nice things and what they consider money, and they hop into it and want to do it for money and soon realize that that's the last thing. Money's the first thing that'll sink you, thinking about doing this for money. I mean, during the COVID thing, I had obviously been in this before the COVID thing, the pandemic shit. But I watched so much shit happen and I knew how it was going to end, bro. I knew it was going to be bad. Some of the people that came in during COVID are doing good. Some people that took out crazy loans and bought crazy animals for astronomical amounts of money are doing well. But I've seen some that I don't see no more that were real happy about taking out a $50,000 equity loan against their house, to buy a couple pairs of geckos, and I don't see them no more.
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting. It's
Yeah.
very. I thank God I haven't done nothing like that. I've invested in some higher priced animals,
Which is not
but I've
wrong.
never taken a loan out, which I thank God I haven't done, because at one point I was thinking of it, but you know how can I say, I've never, I don't think I've ever been the type to want to be the first. I don't need to be the first. So
That's a unique characteristic, brother.
yeah, like, I mean, don't get it wrong. Like, I think we get that from our Asian experience.
I'm the same
I've
way. I sit back in the cut and watch people fail. I hate to say it, but I want to see what you do wrong before I get involved.
one. So this is the thing. Like, I have been the first. I have been on top. I've also have tried to be the first and have tried to be on top and ended up crashing. And at this point, when you've done so many different things, it's like, hey, he's on top and he's number one, cool. And they're trying to be on top and they're trying to be number one, cool. I'm just here and I'm fine with that. I'm happy with that. You know? Like, it is what it is.
I think that says a lot, though, too, man. Is every we got to find your own happy place, your own happy place, guys. You know, no disrespect to Mark, but forget what Mark's doing, forget what I'm doing, forget what the next man's doing. You got to do what makes you happy. You have to find your happy place, right? If we're talking about mental health, we don't want to go setting off on journeys that are gonna, could potentially become a burden, right? Like Mark, I tell him all the time, this dude's got so much passion. One of the things that attracted me to Mark and his business and his brand, he's got so much passion for what he does. It's inspiring. It's inspirational. It's intriguing. It's motivation. It's unique. I don't want to say what Mark does is easy because it's sure not, and it's absolutely unique. You don't always find people that are like Mark or the Gecko Room, right? There's people out there, it's obvious, to have bigger names, a bigger following, and it almost seems like those people do what they do for that following. Mark could care less. Mark could care less if he's got 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers. He could care less if he had no followers. If there was no Instagram, Mark would still be doing what he's doing. And that's rare. That's rare. But it's something that I hope for everyone else. I hope you guys can find that thing that Mark thrives on. Find your own thing that Mark has. It's a beautiful thing, and again, a unique thing, but not an impossible thing. Find your joy, find your pleasure, and brand that shit. Brand that shit. Take it to the fucking moon. But don't try doing what other people do because it's what other people do. That's just being a follower. You ain't no different. You're never going to be the man when you're standing in the man's shadow trying to do what the man's doing. The man's already doing it. Find your own stage.
Yeah. And another thing that I hear a lot, man, like I understand being around the in crowd and stuff like that. But take time out to go speak to some of the elders that have been doing this, right? Understand how the reptile hobby has grown, how it has changed. You don't have to follow it as Bible, but it's just interesting to me. I hear people, I talk to people and it's interesting how a lot of these things that are popular now were not popular back then.
Facts.
And now all of a sudden they are popular.
Facts.
A lot of these animals were being bred back then and nobody wanted them, and now all of a sudden they're high-end animals, that people are looking for, or morphs, or whatever the case may be. It's very interesting how the reptile hobby is like a roller coaster. So you have to, this, from my understanding and from what I've witnessed so far, is prepare yourself for the downward spiral and be ready for the upward spiral. But you can't just enjoy it when it's at its best and then quit when it's at its worst. Like, you got to be, for all the good, you have to be there for the bad. I can't be with my wife and commit to my wife when everything is good, and then the minute something goes bad, well, divorce, I'm out of here. Like, you only, I don't know, I'm not that type of person, or I can't do something like that, so I don't know what to say about that. But I would tell you, you save yourself a lot of grief and time, and forget about the money invested. Time is priceless.
Absolutely.
So if that's what you're about, then don't waste your time, bro. The time is priceless
Absolutely. You ain't getting tomorrow
because
back. Damn sure ain't getting tomorrow back.
you can't. So do something of value that is valuable to yourself and have fun doing it. Don't don't be stressed about things. Try to stay happy, man. You know?
That's the truth, man. It's beautiful. I wish every man could find the strength you have, though. It's I keep thinking about Rob talking about that suicide shit, man, and it really it's been bothering me all day, man. I don't want to sound like a bitch or sound like I'm complaining by any means, but
No, man.
if anyone out there, and I mean that, anyone in this reptile community, man, if you hear this and God forbid, suicide is on your mind or you feel like there's no point in waking up tomorrow, man, reach out to me, man. I promise you, I will convince you of something that's worth living for, man. And it's and you got somebody, man. You no matter how alone you feel like you are, just reach out to someone. Someone cares, man. I promise you, I care. I don't even know you and I give a fuck. I don't agree with everybody and I probably don't agree with half the shit you do. But I assure you, your life is worth living. I assure you that tomorrow is worth it. And I guess what I'm trying to say is if anyone is dealing with any type of mental health or suicide or substance abuse, I may not have been on the exact path you're on, but I assure you I could probably relate, man, and just reach out, man. Shoot me a message. I'm sure Mark don't care, man.
Shoot me a
Yo,
message, man. That that
just
was the purpose of doing this from the beginning, like because of us talking to different people that have been stressed out or overwhelmed by the hobby itself. And at the end of the day, it's not just about making a purchase or whatever. Like, bro, you need somebody to talk to? Hit me up. Hit
facts.
us up. Or
Facts. Come
talk
on the
to
podcast
whoever.
and talk, man. Come
Yeah,
on here and vent. Tell us how you
yeah.
really feel. We don't give a fuck. Me and Mark could care less, man. If you want to get some shit off your chest, talk about your life, talk about something, maybe how these animals saved you, how you, whatever. I mean, even if you feel like you just don't got a voice in this reptile hobby, just don't hear you or see you. We do. We do. You know, we do. And again, we may not agree with everything you got to say or everything you're doing or everything you're thinking, but we will agree that your life is worth living, that it's your life, your issues, is they're worth figuring it the fuck out. That's just a fact. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what skin color you are. I don't give a fuck who you believe in politically. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what color your hair is. We ain't got to be best friends. We ain't got to be friends, period. But your life is valuable. Your life is valuable. If you're breathing, you can contribute to some type of greater cause in this world. As long as you're alive, you could become part of something greater than yourself.
Yeah, man.
That's that. And a lot of people feel that way. If you're feeling negative and you're in feeling that your life ain't worth it, check your circle, man. Check your people. Check your people. If you're feeling like killing yourself, man, you ain't hanging around the right people, or talking to the right people.
Or even if you're feeling like having a drink or
Absolutely.
going out or doing something else, um, before you have that drink, talk to me. Talk to us. Before you go do whatever else you're gonna do, and you need somebody to talk to, like, don't throw it all away because you feel that there's not an answer. And if it's not us, there's numbers, there's hotlines you can call because we're not professionals.
Definitely
And
not.
we
Definitely. I'm professional in life. Not even. I
yeah,
shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even say that.
yeah, because I also don't want to put it out there like all
Uh,
all of you call us and we got you. What I'm saying is, if you need somebody, we're here, but we're not professionals that deal with that.
So I
But we
promise we won't
know,
judge you. We won't judge you. You know,
yeah,
we'll
we
hear you
won't
out.
judge you, and we know that there's a life out there worth living. This reptile hobby is not the end all be all. There's other stuff out there. So if you need somebody, reach out and call. But there's also professional hotlines to help you. There's also other people, if you don't want to talk to us, that will.
Facts.
There's a lot of people out there like us that are willing to talk and listen. Like,
Facts. Just because you're a man don't mean you got to keep it in. That was the other point of this podcast, man. We're a man, and society puts these labels on us like we're supposed to just absorb the world's fucking issues and just keep your chin up and keep moving. Yo, you are entitled to complain, man. Tell people how you feel. Tell them how you feel. That's how you end shit. You're going to let people walk all over you and just eat it and take it. And, yo, stand up for yourself. Speak up. Lay down the fucking law. And I don't mean it in an obnoxious, rude way, but as a man, you are also entitled to speak your mind. You know? It's not all about just absorbing the world's issues and taking it on the chin and keep it fucking moving. You know, that's what we do anyway, but you are entitled to speak your mind. Your opinions matter, your feelings matter, your points of view matter. Maybe not to me, but to somebody, right? Like, I ain't got to agree with you for your opinion to matter, you know? Oh,
he said maybe not to me, but to somebody.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even trying to be a dick. Like, we ain't got to agree for your opinion to matter. I'll be the first one to tell you that just because I don't agree with you, don't mean what you're saying don't matter. Shit, me and you don't agree on a lot of shit. It don't mean what you're saying don't matter.
We had this disagreement. He was getting out of Dow's, and you know I'm a Dow lover, and I'm like, you're crazy. It is that the other. He's like, well, Dow's just don't intrigue me, and I'm like, don't give him up. And he's like, well, I'm giving him up. Like, I don't agree that he should have gotten out of Dow's, but we're still laughing and joking and playing. I'm like, bro, this dude is freaking crazy. He got rid of the Dow's. Or whatever.
No, I just feel that other people like yourself, and I sent you some that could do it better. I don't hate Dow's. I love them. They're awesome. I just feel that I would be more valuable doing other shit. You produce some of the most beautiful. I just had this conversation the other day. Someone sends me a message like, yo, I know you don't sell a lot of animals, but what will it cost me to get one of your Dow's? Like, a lot of fucking money, because I ain't got them no more. You know? Like, but go holler at Mark. Mark at the Gecko Room makes Dow's that I wish I was making. If you want one, go holler at Mark. You know? That's the truth. That's a real life event. Like 2 days ago. That's real shit. And that's, again, half my reason. Not that I have anything against Dalmatians. I feel that there's still a lot of things that haven't been done with them that I really would love to do. But I sat back for like 4 years, 3-4 years, watching people do shit with Dow's or cappuccinos, waiting for someone to do the shit that I dreamed of and no one did. Listen, I had to divert. My plan didn't change, you know. My direction didn't change. My plan did. You know, it's... And Mark blessed me too, man. I know a lot of you guys, I talked about it on podcasts before Mark was on here. I say it all the time. One of the most flattering things that's ever happened to me was someone seeing my passion and saying, here, it's part of the puzzle. I know you don't have it, but I know you want to do it. Here, on me. Here's a piece to that puzzle. Do it. That shit's insane. That's like, to me, it still blows my mind. Like, someone saw a passion in me and wanted me to succeed. Someone didn't want me to fail. They didn't say, damn, here, he wants this animal. He needs this animal. Let me, no, he'll pay for it. Let me trump that up another couple $100. My man said, here, take it. I'm paying for the shipping, and I'm sending you a piece to that puzzle. Do something with it. We should kind of really all have a little bit of that in us, you know? I'm waiting to see the person that's got so much. I got my eyes on a couple, you know, they're not crested geckos, but with Yahuwahs, some people that got a passion that makes me I want to give you something to help you succeed. I don't want your money. I don't want you shouting out my name. I don't want you doing nothing but succeeding with what you're working on, man. Make that shit happen. Make that shit
And
happen. Don't make me
it
proud. Make yourself proud. Here you go. Take this. Hold this. Do that. Let me see what you got. And I had it
yeah,
happen
man.
to me. And again, it would happen to me, Mark. Ironically, shit like that you don't forget for a fucking lifetime. You know what I'm saying? You don't that shit don't go away. Mark is a very, very good friend of mine and probably will never know how much he influenced my life and literally changed my direction with a gift. Change the trajectory of everything I do in that reptile room. And I'll never,
Nice.
again, like I said, I'll never forget that. And I ain't even really started doing what I plan on doing with that stuff. Like, we all have the power. Again, that's the beautiful thing about this reptile hobby is that this thing we have in common has blessed us with the ability to change each other's lives, for the better. We could do it. Could do it. Not only can we walk someone off the ledge by talking to someone that we ultimately have things in common with, we have the power and the ability to help people reach their goals and achieve their dreams, And it may be with things that we have a plethora of, hundreds of them. These geckos, I got so many of this one lily right here can change your plan, can help you succeed. Man, I'll sacrifice that shit in a heartbeat, man. Take it. I don't need no money. Take it. Give me an address. Take it. That's you. It's not all about taking in this community. It's about giving, right? And through giving, we are in theory receiving, How many people have given something away, man? Tell me how good that shit feels. How good does it make you feel to give someone something that they thought was unobtainable? How many people, want lilies and fraps and caps? A lot of these young people coming into the hobby, they think a $500 gecko, a $1,200 gecko is unobtainable. I got a wall of 60 chihuahuas I paid about $1,800 at least for. That shit don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. I give one to someone, and I'm not telling you how to blow up my DMs asking for free geckos. My point is that if those things are a piece to another human being's puzzle, as a human being, I should want to help you succeed and fulfill your dreams. It's we all got a part to play. So I guess what I'm ultimately boiling it down to is we all have a part to play. If we all played our roles, we could, not only make this community a better place, but fuck, man, we make the world a better place. Like Rob. Rob's out there running, not for reptile suicide prevention. He's running for global suicide prevention. That's huge, huge, huge shit, man. That's powerful. That's powerful. Powerful. Again, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but damn, for all my people out there that are doing great, to wake up every day smiling and winning, just try to put yourself in a situation or to, try to think about how bad someone must have it to want to kill it herself, man. And be grateful. And be grateful that you have the ability to smile, the ability to look at your family and see them smiling, Don't ever take that shit for granted. It's like Mark and myself said, man, we both lost it all more than man, I'll probably never tell you, but we've lost it and we've come back. Suicide ain't never crossed our minds, right? Like I'm too rude. You ain't never get me to kill myself. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, everything you got. Fuck you. Kill myself, bitch, please. Fuck. But, and I'm not trying to take that away from anyone else. I'm not trying to call you weak. I'm not trying to say anything like that. Again, there's value in living. Try to find it. Try to find it. Mental health issues are real. We can't fix the issue until we address the issue, to acknowledge the issue rather. And we've acknowledged that mental health in men is real. We experience it. Just because society keeps us down and we don't talk about it, don't mean the shit don't exist. And again, we're almost at 2 hours. We're going to cut this off, guys. But you got somebody. You got someone to talk to. You have an outlet. You have a platform to come and express yourself and be seen and be heard. And, just holler at us. Anything you want to say to close this out? I just went on a little rant, but
no, you good. This is what it's about. We joked, we laughed, but at the end of the day, the reason why we did this was because of mental health issues going around. We're just trying to be your backbone, be your support, strengthen you up. We never want you to. We don't want to lose lives over stress and mental health. So hopefully the jokes and the playing around and everything helps you. We support you. We support the reptile hobby. We are here if you need us. Also go Lychees. Something happened with them. I know Mike from Parkour Gecko shared a post about a GoFundMe with Baya Geckos. I know none of these people. I know Mike from Parkour. However, something happened there.
fire.
$1 can make a difference. Even just a share of the post can make a difference. Go check it out.
I'll see if I can link it in this somehow. I'll link it in the description somehow.
Yeah, and then also, guys, if you are watching this and you know anybody that should be on the podcast, or if you have any topics or questions that you want us to talk about on the podcast, if you like these one-on-ones and stuff like that, comment down below, let us know. Hit us up in the DM, let us know. Also, the Monster Box enclosures, they were out here. We hit the reptile show for the first time. Tampa
Huge.
Reptilian Nation.
Huge.
We was out there.
Mark did it. Mark did it. The first.
If I did it, we did it with
public.
Under the banner, we're there.
You know damn well I'm giving you credit, man. I didn't do it. You did it. I mean, we got here together, but you did it.
Come check us out.
Put Monster Box on the public scene, man. That's awesome.
A lot of things coming from there. And then, tune into Palm Street, Instagram, The Gecko Room, Cold Blooded Gems, New Cow Corner Podcast, The Gecko Exchange Podcast. Jason, you already know. And that's it for me. That's it. Stay blessed. And then also, this is my last and final thing, because now I went on a rant. Hey, do something kind for somebody. Hashtag pass it on. If you know me and you tune into my Palm Streets, if you know me and you know me, I've always tried to do something kind for somebody. Hashtag pass it on. Do it. It'll make you feel good.
That's dope. Guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.